Hey, what's up, guys? This is Matt from the future. I just wanted to jump in real quick and say, although I fixed the audio issues that we had from our first episode, on this one, it seems as though my camera was having some issues, some lag. So you'll probably notice that if you're watching, and I do apologize for that. Again, trying to get the hang of this each time is a new learning experience. But with that out of the way, here's the episode. Enjoy. Greetings, nerds, and welcome back to Grey Shame Chronicles here at MK Mini Studio. In these installments, I invite you to take some time to catch up on your painting backlog while listening to an interview with a fellow artist. You can also watch us while we paint something from our own piles of shame. I'm your host, Matt Kinsey, and joining me today is none other than the modern barbarian, Mr. Chris Laurel. Welcome, Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me.
So, Chris has been painting miniatures for about 15 years. He's a retired 20-year veteran and an instructor of judo, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and catch wrestling. And I already welcomed you, and you said thanks for having me. I meant to say thanks for coming on. I'm still working on my interview skills, man.
No problem.
But I originally came into contact with Chris because of the Minis with a Mission charity auction that I did last year. The one that Dragon's Ale Miniatures and I talked about from our first episode of Grey Shame Chronicles. Chris here was our big winner, so thank you for that, Chris. The money went to a great cause, and you got some cool minis out of it.
Indeed. It was definitely worth a while.
Good deal. But since then, we've talked more, and I've gotten to learn more about you and your background. And I've also had the pleasure of doing some more work for you, so thanks for that, too.
Yeah, it's been awesome. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, so first, we're going to discuss what we're painting. So I'll let you go first, and then I'll talk about mine. So tell us about what you're painting right now for today's show.
Okay, so I'm painting a Chaos Knight champion for Age of Sigmar. It's one of the newer models. I've been slowly updating my Warriors of Chaos that went from square bases to round bases, now going back to square bases and put the new models into my Age of Sigmar army.
Excellent. For me, if anybody is watching that also watched the first episode and recalls my team of guys that I made called Brute Force, I'm continuing with those. So I named this fellow Afar just because he was my ranged guy, and I thought that was a funny name at the time. But as you can see, he's got these mutated spidery arm things coming out of the back of him here. And so, if I didn't mention it, these were designed on Hero Forge. Not a sponsor, but you could be. And yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be working on this guy tonight. So, Chris, what I want to kind of take a turn from maybe where we would normally start.
Mm-hmm.
Because you do have an interesting background, and I'd love for you to tell us more about your passion for martial arts and how did that start?
Okay, sure. Um, I'd say honestly, it probably when I was pretty young, and a lot of people I think probably say they got into it from like Bruce Lee movies or Jackie Chan, but for me, I think it was probably WWF wrestling.
Oh,
I was
okay.
a huge fan when I was a kid. I still kind of am a big fan of it. Fun fact: my wife is Japanese and a huge Japanese pro wrestling fan, and our first proper date was to a big New Japan Pro Wrestling show. But
Oh, wow.
um, when you're a kid, you think that stuff's real. Um, so I went and probably about 6 years old, went out for the elementary school wrestling team,
Okay.
and not like South Park. I actually enjoyed it a lot, and it just kind of went from there. Started getting into judo and karate and things like that, and probably when I was about, I think I was about 17, like 1993. the UFC started, a friend of mine who had a satellite dish invited me over to his house, and that kind of he made me even more interested in all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I can
yeah,
see that.
that's what it brought me to Japan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, unless they are really big Japanese enthusiasts, would not know that Japan has like a huge following for pro wrestling.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
And whenever I found, which I didn't find that out until probably, I don't know, maybe 3 years ago. And
Okay.
it was really shocking to me.
Yeah.
So,
I was in Japan the end of December through January, and we basically, my wife and I, we went to basically their version of WrestleMania while
oh,
we were out
okay.
there. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Man, that's so funny. Yeah, I did not know. I knew that you had been to Japan and you lived there for a number of years, correct?
Yeah, about 16 years. Yeah.
Okay, and that was because of the military?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because
Um,
I was thinking that that was the reason that you went. I didn't realize that you had this other uh, passion for the pro wrestling movement, and it's so fun
yeah,
that your wife is into it too. That's really funny. That's really cool.
yeah. I mean, I had the opportunity to compete a lot while I was over there too. I did some professional mixed martial arts, some professional kickboxing, lots of judo and jujitsu
Mm-hmm.
tournaments while I was over there. And so, like through that, I was actually asked on two separate occasions if I wanted to join the major pro wrestling organizations. So I didn't end up doing that though, because you know, it's just a huge commitment. And
Sure.
being such a fan, you know, it's like, you know, it's a really tough lifestyle. But I'm not a small person. You know, I'm about 6'2", 265. So um, you know, there was a lot of interest in me getting into
I
the
bet
into that type
so.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, being head above all the others. Maybe not, but anyways, I'm sure that would have
Right.
been really fun. But I totally get, yeah, you're talking about the commitment to that lifestyle and whatnot. But I'm
Yeah.
certain that you've made the right choices.
Yeah, I feel like it. Yeah.
So, but now you're, you followed that desire that you had from a young age, and now you're teaching others.
Hmm.
So, tell me about that. Why did you want to become a teacher? Just because you loved it
Well,
so much, but I don't want to put
yeah.
words in
I
your
mean,
mouth.
I think it's you know, the natural progression, you know,
Okay.
of eventually you know, you can't compete. You know, father time catches up with you, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you've put in like, you know, 30 plus years, um you know, you just doesn't make any sense to invest that much time and just completely stop, you know.
Of course. No, I
So
get that. So it's the
so I
way
really,
to stay going
yeah.
whenever you're not able to compete anymore per se.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like to, you know, pass this knowledge to you know, the folks that want to, you know, that want to do it, you know, want to do what I did.
Yeah.
And so I do it, you know, obviously I really enjoy doing that as well.
Well, that's really cool. I think I had some big dreams of becoming a kung fu master after a few Jackie Chan movies were under my belt, as you said, but
Yeah.
mine never really amounted to anything, unfortunately. Hmm.
Nothing wrong with that.
All right, so getting back then to the world of miniatures, do you have a favorite tabletop game, miniatures or not?
Well, that's a tough question. I would say right now, um, if I would have to break it into the categories of like my local scene and getting all the games I want in, well, would have a sway on it. But probably right now it's got to be Age of Sigmar, just because there's just a lot of people in my area that play. Um,
Okay.
but I do have a real fondness for both systems of Conquest.
Okay. So, conquest is something I imagine we're going to be talking a little bit more about. Um, and actually, why not now? So, for the audience who doesn't know, why don't you tell us a little bit about Conquest?
Okay, so Conquest is a game produced by Parabellum Games out of Crete, and its main uh, system is the Last Argument of Kings, which is a large-sized rank and flank style game. I guess is the best way to describe it. It's fantasy. Um, it has some very unique armies and a unique system of basically cards to uh, to activate your units. So it's like an I go you go system. It's a little bit different than the GW style games,
Mm-hmm.
which I like. So you kind of like just build this like command deck, and it's like hidden from your opponent, which I think is pretty cool. And you just kind of set up like which unit you want to activate first in that system of I go you go. So there's a little bit of risk taking, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is pretty cool. The use of what they call stands makes so you don't have to like uh, have like movement trays from like third parties and stuff like that. I like that as well. It's pretty cool.
Sure.
The new version of the skirmish called First Blood is I played a couple games of it, and it's it just came out. When did it come out? Like
It
maybe two
was,
months ago.
yeah, it was very recent.
Yeah,
I
it's
know
pretty
that.
fun.
Well, that's
That's
awesome.
pretty fun too. Yeah, so I'm having fun with both rule sets there.
Okay.
I just need more people to play it in my area.
I get it. Man, I get it. Because it's the age old issue of it's sometimes you can find people, sometimes you can't, and then the ones that you can find, how do you get your schedules to mash up? You know,
Right.
and obviously the older you get, the harder it gets. So, I mean, I'm
Well, for me,
30.
I think it
Oh, go
gets
ahead.
easy.
You think it gets easy? Well, so
Well, I'm
you're.
sorry, I did cut you off though, so go ahead and
No, you're okay. I was
finish.
going to say I'm 36 and I have an 11-year-old son. And so I would guess I would take back my statement about it gets more difficult the older you get. It's not necessarily that. It's when you hit your uh, child rearing years,
Yeah.
then your availability time dips down, and then they grow up, and then it will rise again,
Yeah,
so to speak.
I agree. I have two daughters. They're both grown, and I'm an empty nester. I'm 49, so um, I'm definitely at the point of just being able to do what I want now and having more money to do it, which is nice too.
Yeah, I'm certain. That's awesome. So, Conquest, going back to them real quick,
Hmm.
I became an affiliate of them late last year, and so I do a lot of projects
Hmm.
concerning Conquest, and that was actually the sets that Isaac and I painted for the Minis with a Mission uh, auction thing that we mentioned at the beginning of the show. And you're talking about it's fantasy, but they have really unique armies. And
Yep.
I'm not trying to do too much of a commercial here, but I have to agree because, whenever we were looking at those sets, one of the main reasons that I wanted to paint the set that we got is because it included the Yoroni, which were practically brand new at the time, and they're very
Yeah.
Japanese themed. And I love all things Japan, and so I was in. But what it was, and at that time when we did that, I wasn't an affiliate with them yet. But you're talking about fantasy, but cool armies because they have like a spin on them. Because, you know, you've got
Mm-hmm.
dwarves and elves and men and all these things, but then it's how they make them unique. So, like, one of the teams that Isaac and I painted, it's actually the one that Isaac painted, was the Wadrun, which are the orcs, in my opinion, of the conquest world. But it's not they're
Right.
just
Yeah, they are.
orcs. They are orcs that talk to and ride dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And that's too cool. So, uh,
One of my friends that I play with, pretty regularly. That's his main army, is the Wadroon. It's pretty
oh, okay.
cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the a couple of the folks from Parabellum pretty well. I'm a regular at the Las Vegas Open and became pretty friendly with them over the years. And when they explained to me, they're like, "Don't tell anyone, but we've got this new army coming out based
Uh,
on Japanese mythology." I was like, "Are you got to be kidding me? This sounds amazing." And they really, like I said, somebody who has lived in Japan for 16 years and is married to a Japanese person. I've taken postgraduate Japanese history courses. They really did their due diligence with it. I mean, I was super impressed, um, with the, what we call fluff of, the army, and like how much they went to the source material, of owning and
correct.
yokai and all that stuff. Is just,
Mm-hmm.
they really knocked it out of the park.
Do you think they will release a Yurei?
That's a good question. I mean, I have a feeling that we're going to see some more releases, but maybe not until next year, just because, the Weaver Courts. I think
Yeah,
they're still working on the Weaver Courts. They released that Trebuchet recently for 100 Kingdoms.
right.
Uh,
Yeah, but Weaver Courts is definitely their newest baby right now.
right.
So
Yeah.
I know they're going to take
Which
care
is
of them
another
for a good
really
while.
pretty unique army too. I mean, they all are. They really like separated themselves,
Yeah.
from the standard, the fantasy standard.
No, I agree. I totally agree. It's really cool. The thing that you said about having people to play with, I there to my knowledge in my area, um, is no one that plays, and so even though I've
Oh yeah.
done a really a fair amount of painting on Conquest, I haven't even so much as really looked at the rules yet, because I don't know where it would go, just to tell you the
Yeah,
truth. But
right.
maybe someday I'll hold out hope. It would be a delight.
At one point, my FLGS that pretty much almost exclusively play at, and we had probably 6 to 8 players. Um, a lot of them were big time Age of Sigmar players, and
Mm-hmm.
so I had told them about it. They had gone to Las Vegas Open, and they were able to get like demo game
Mm-hmm.
in, and they're just like, "Oh, this is really cool." And I think it was kind of the end of, I guess you could say, the competitive season for them. So they kind of jumped into it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was like the next year we got, I think it was like fourth edition Age of Sigmar came out, and everybody was just like, Age of Sigmar, Age of Sigmar, and it just kind of fell to the wayside. But there's like 3 or 4 of us that are uh, much more regular about it still. So
Okay.
yeah,
Well, it's good to have people to play with for sure.
yeah,
Speaking of, not necessarily playing with, but we are painting today.
yeah.
So, for you, how did it all start? What drew you into painting?
So I think I think my first miniatures were those old pewter miniatures in the 80s for Dungeons and Dragons, Ral Partha, those type of things. I wasn't probably the best at it, but my my parents, especially my mother, I think really encouraged me to like, explore, my, the arts.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it was because I was maybe so drawn to sports at the
Okay.
same time. Um, so then that was like right around the whole satanic panic thing. So that kind of all fell apart for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I had to kind of keep that stuff hidden. So I couldn't really do it that much. And then I'd
Mm-hmm.
say going back to probably like my late teens, I had Hero Quest and
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
um,
that's fun.
Necromunda was one of my early ones, and then uh, and then I got into the military, and so I kind of put that off because I was like, well, I really don't know if I'm going to be able to play this type of thing regularly, and
Right.
so I sold a lot of my old stuff
Mm.
before I went, and then I met some people who were like, hey, there was a Games Workshop right near the base, like the big mall near the base I was first stationed at.
Really?
And so, yeah, so a couple of us went out there and did some Warhammer Fantasy battles, and we're
Yeah.
like, yeah, we need to start playing this. And so, you don't get paid a whole lot when you first start the military, so it was definitely a not 2,000 point armies, but
Sure.
that was kind of it.
And, earlier when I introduced you, I said you've been painting for about 15 years, but that's just basically whenever you restarted and have been going consistently. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would say that's correct. Yeah, there's definitely gaps in the painting that I've been doing, so you know, I wouldn't start the clock and not stop it, I guess you could say.
Right. But but like you were saying, some of your first uh, time trying to paint was like 30 years ago or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Well, very cool. Um, in the time from when you've started painting until now, can you think of a specific time when you had a real breakthrough with the hobby?
Hmm. Yeah, I would say probably I'd say it was probably, I don't remember what year it was, but it was probably like 6th edition 40K. Um I had started doing a Dark Angels like Ravenwing um army, and a friend of mine was doing basically I think the only ITC tournaments in Japan, and he really wanted me to come out and do it, so I just started just busting out this all these bikes. And um I feel like I just really got my technique down, and was just I made some, I think I made some pretty good models, and I think that was kind of like maybe when I kind of broke through that that first barrier to really like start making things look nice, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. Because there is definitely I don't know. I guess I can't speak on everyone's behalf because I don't
Hmm.
know everyone, but I
Sure.
get the feeling that a majority of players kind
Hmm.
of what's the word I'm looking for? They kind of accept that they need to paint
Right.
rather than desire to paint really well. And again, that might just be my terrible assumption.
Yeah, I think so. I really enjoy the hobby as much as I enjoy playing the game. Um, I mean, I like every part of it. Like I like building the model.
For
I
real.
like painting it. Yeah, where I have friends that they love painting, but they hate building.
That's funny.
um,
That's funny to me.
yeah, but I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. It feels kind of relaxing to me just put models together, but it's kind of a blessing and a curse because I just have so much that it's like as soon as I get something new, it's like, oh, I want to build it, but I have a million things that I've already built and need to be painted.
I
So,
understand quite well.
yeah.
So, hence the Grey Shame Chronicles.
Right.
So, man, where was I going? You made me think of something. What was it? Oh, building models and the excitement of building them. It's like I've always liked putting things together. You know,
Hmm.
Legos, of course.
Right.
You know, I built my first Bandai Gundam kit when I was probably like 10 or something like that. And
Cool.
that's just because I saw it at Hobby Lobby and asked my grandma for it for like Christmas or something because I had no idea that Gundam was an anime or anything like that. I just saw, hey, this
Yeah.
is a super cool robot and I get to put it together. Thank you.
Yeah.
This is awesome. And so, yeah, I really enjoy assembling the models as well.
That's one of the hardest things going back to now that I live in the States, going back to Japan like every year, every other year is like not buying all the all the Gundam models I want.
Oh, okay. So you're a Gunpla fan too, then?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I mean, I'm definitely very particular, just because of like all the different games and all the different armies that I have. I don't go too crazy, but there's certain ones that I like a lot. So,
Yeah. Well, I think
um,
that's wise about not going crazy.
yeah. And
Um,
now I got those little ones that came with the card game
okay.
that
Yeah, Gundam
they're gonna have
Assemble.
like a proper war game now.
Yeah, man. I've got
Yeah.
mine pre-ordered. For those who don't know, before I started like trying to try my hand at painting miniatures on a professional level or somewhat professional level, I started a business, a tabletop business called Nuclear Nerd, and one of my suppliers that I buy our Gundam kits through is going to be carrying the Gundam Assemble as well, and I'm really
Oh,
looking
that's
forward
cool.
to it.
Yeah, I am too. They're gonna be like I like that like they're gonna be fun to build and paint, but they're not overly complicated, and the paint jobs for the most part are not too hard either. So
For
it'll be
sure.
nice to be able it'll be nice to just start knocking out some mobile suits.
No, I agree. They're fairly large,
Yeah.
and I like that aspect about them as well. And of course, it's a Bandai kit, so they're all snapped together
Yeah.
plastic, which I guess a lot of the, not a lot, but I know some Games Workshop are like that as well.
Hmm.
So always a plus. But yeah, I'm looking forward to Gundam Assemble. But I heard for my supplier at least anyway that that's not gonna be out until like November or December when they
Yeah.
actually release those. And that made me a little bit bummed, but honestly, I got plenty to stay busy until then.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, me too. I was able to, like, they have the card game, right? That
Mm-hmm.
TCG. And when I was out in Japan with the exchange rate, they were like the ones that come with like the three models.
Mm-hmm.
I got a couple of those just to get the models. They were
Yeah.
like with the exchange rate, they're about $18, I think. 18,
Oh,
19 bucks a box. So it was
nice.
a pretty good deal. Yeah.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know a fair few folks who have done that, bought the card game just so they could get the preview models.
Yeah.
One of my favorite YouTubers A guy named Boylai Hobby Time. Have you ever watched him?
What was the name again?
It's Boylai Hobby Time.
I'm not sure. I'd have to
Okay.
check.
You absolutely need to check it out, and especially his Gundam videos, because
Okay.
he bought all the packs so he could get all the different preview models that they had available,
Yeah.
and he did. He just released his second one not too long ago, but he does this custom basing on them, and they turn out immaculately.
Oh,
So
that's cool. Yeah, I'll
you
definitely
really
have to
need to
look that.
check that out. I'll send that
Yeah.
to you after the
Yeah,
show.
please do. Please do. I will watch it for sure.
All right. So, do you have a favorite technique that you've learned?
Favorite technique? That's a hard one. I really like dry brushing, I guess. I use it quite a bit. I would say I don't know if I want to call it wet blending, but with the advent of like speed paints and contrast paints, I've
Mm-hmm.
definitely like started using those like in like a wet blending type of way.
Okay, I think that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
That's neat. In our first episode, my guest mentioned that he really liked dry brushing as well and felt like he got really good at it. But then we were talking, and there is a difference in technique where you either get the paint on your brush and then rub almost all of it off on like a paper towel or something like that,
right.
or there's the I don't know, I, other method. I don't want to say it's the right method, but the other method of you actually get your brush slightly damp and
Right, right.
then get paint on it, and instead of wicking off all the paint on a paper towel or something, you rub it off on a texture
Yeah,
plate or something like
that's
that.
a definitely a game changer. I was for a very long time the paper towel guy,
Okay.
and I have switched to that slightly damp. I have like this little 3D printed texture thing just for dry brushing now.
Okay. Neat. That's a great
Yeah, I
plan.
definitely agree with you. That thing that's definitely the way to go.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I'm obviously a dry brushing newbie because I have not yet upgraded to the other method yet. I'm still stuck
Oh
on,
yeah.
but I don't think I dry brush nearly as much as I used to.
Hmm.
Um, it almost, I mean, obviously still has its place. You need a good dry
Yeah.
brush, but I don't know if there's, I would say, any particular reason why I don't. I just, it doesn't come up as often for me. I
Hmm.
feel like, anyways.
Sure.
And maybe I do it more often than I realize, and I'm just not being aware.
No, I can understand that. There's different techniques that sometimes don't mesh well with with dry brushing.
Right. So, but I definitely want to give it a try. You said about having a 3D printed thing, so I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
give that a go. Then I'll have to look that up and see what I can pull out. Um,
For me,
because
it's like I'm trying to knock out sometimes just a lot of models. I don't like to play unpainted models.
correct, yeah.
So sometimes I just want to get them done. So like for example, like if I'm doing Space Marines, like I'll do the sergeants and I'll do the heroes. I'll give them like a nice edge highlight on their armor.
Mm-hmm.
Like the rest of the guys, a lot of times I'm just gonna hit them with a dry brush and then
Right.
maybe go back and clean it up a little bit to make it look a little sharp. But I'm not gonna spend the same amount of time, hitting
Naturally.
a
Yeah.
couple edge highlights. So
Yeah.
that's probably the most common time I'll dry brush.
Mm-hmm. No, I think that makes perfect sense. All right. Well, tell me, what is it about painting that you hate?
Um, I would say what I hate is like seeing all the people that paint better than I do, and
Oh no.
it's like, why can't I get that? Why can't I get to that level?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's really funny. There's sometimes, we'll be looking at stuff online. My wife and I, she's basically my social media manager,
Hmm.
and we'll be looking at stuff online, and she's like, you know, you can paint better than this guy. Why aren't you doing better than they are? Or whatever. But then there's the opposite where it's like what you just said. I'll see somebody who just paints like leaps and bounds better than
Yeah.
I can, and I'm just kind of like, what am I even doing here? I may as well give up now. I'll never be that good. Kind of a thing. But
Yeah.
no, obvious, not
It's
not
hard. It's hard
really.
not to
But
compare yourself.
it absolutely is, I think, and I think that that is a real danger, I'll
Yeah.
say, because there's absolutely no shame. I mean, I don't know who how I'm trying to find the right way to phrase this.
Hmm.
Everyone can paint,
Yes.
and
Agreed.
especially if you like the game and like you were saying, you like playing and you like doing the hobby aspect of it. It doesn't matter, obviously, if you're way good or the best or not, or whatever. That's really not the point.
Hmm. Right.
And so you can get in a dangerous place by comparing yourself to others and
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's really that's not the point.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like. I'm not like that hard on myself about it. I would
Right.
definitely never criticize somebody's paint job, either.
Right. No,
Yeah.
I agree. I totally agree. Because I don't know. I just anytime I don't, especially in person, get to meet that many other folks that paint and
Hmm.
are as enthusiastic about it as I am. And
Hmm.
so anytime that I meet someone, no matter where they're at on their, painting journey, I love seeing what they've done
Yeah.
and just being a part of it, being in that community because it is.
Yeah. It's amazing to see, like, also like what people come up with, because it's like the sky's the limit. I think, in especially like in tabletop wargaming, we have a tendency to kind of follow the code of, ultramarines are blue, blood angels are red, warriors of
Right,
chaos are black, right? Like these types of things, right?
right.
But then it's like you get somebody who just jumps the shark, and it's pretty cool sometimes.
Absolutely. No, that is one of the things that drew me, I would say, into the creative world, especially for painting, um,
Hmm.
is the customization aspect of it. Anytime that I was growing up playing video games, any of the games like Elder Scrolls or something like that, where you get to like completely customize the way your character looks and stuff,
Yeah,
those
yeah.
always had a high appeal to me, a higher
Same.
appeal, I should say. And
Yeah, definitely the same for me as well.
okay, and so then whenever I think that for a lot of people, even those who like tabletop games, the hobby aspect of miniatures can be a hindrance or a stopping point for them. So they're like, yeah, what the heck? I don't want to put stuff together to be able to play this game. I don't want to
Right.
paint this stuff to be able to play, but whenever I think about it, and I'm like, oh, oh, I can make this look however I want to.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So,
I have a friend here who he is just like he's a amazing painter. He's a great painter, but he's also like just the kit bashing master. Like
oh,
just
okay, okay,
everything he does is like kit bashed in some way or another. He would be a great person to have on your channel like this.
okay,
Uh,
yeah,
but yeah, like he's got like orcs of corn. He did he did a Gloomspite Gits that's all Christmas themed, and
okay,
he found like one of those like little. It's like it's small, but it's like it's like a thing that goes under your tree,
mm-hmm.
and it has like a little train that goes around it, and he took that like and made it into like this goblin themed thing that actually like within his display board to have like this train going around with these little gits on it. It's
Oh
like
my gosh.
it's crazy, yeah, the stuff that he's done.
Yeah, man. No, that sounds so good. Um,
Yeah.
I haven't done near as much kit bashing as I would like. I definitely do, just not as much as I would like.
Well, I was
But that's
really
kind of
impressed
anything.
with the little bit of kit bashing you did for um the why am I forgetting the name, the Yoroni, was it Oyabun or whatever.
The Onmyoji, the
Yeah,
Bakas.
that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
the Akatsu. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
the viewers will have to go check out. Well, actually, I've got a video of me painting it. So if they just stay tuned, I'm going to eventually edit and post that as well.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm not
definitely.
entirely sure of my release schedule at this point. So there's a chance that I post me painting that before this episode gets painted or posted.
Okay.
So, I mean, we'll
Yeah,
see. But yeah, the
yeah. The pictures you sent me, I thought it looked fantastic. I
no,
thought it was a cool uh to go after that box art, and basically make something unique, but
no,
also
I
kind of like
appreciate it.
fit in with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes um, in terms of receptivity. Like you say, you like it, and that's what matters, and I'm very, very glad. But I can see some people being of my wife's opinion that it's not nearly colorful enough to be that the figure that it started as, so to speak.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but as neither here nor there, I achieved what I wanted to. But to her point, I can see this being like my most polarizing model, so to
Oh
speak.
yeah.
But
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see. All in due time. Do you have a favorite miniature that you've painted?
Hmm. Yeah. Definitely do. It's kind of a toss up here. So, um, I think I have to go back to a couple years back, to where I really felt like my painting skills came together for the first time, and I just put a lot of effort into it. It
Okay.
was probably Robute Gulaman when they came out at the end of the seventh edition 40K, and it was just really cool to have like a Primarch again, and in plastic, and
Mm-hmm.
I just really was like, I have to do a good job with this, and
Right.
I was pretty happy with myself. So I definitely, um, that one definitely stands out to me. Uh,
So the next logical question is, do you have it handy?
yeah, I could run downstairs real quick and grab it if you want me to grab it.
If you feel comfortable
Yeah,
enough sharing, please do.
sure. Yeah, I can do that. Just give me 1 second. I'll be right back.
No problem.
All right, I got it here. Hopefully you can see it well. But
Just see about getting them in the middle there. I can see it, but not what. Oh, yep, yep, right there, man. Holy Toledo. That armor looks nice, and the flames on your sword look good too.
That was the part that I was worried about the most, and I think it came out pretty good.
It has a really cool look to it. Um, could you bring it up just a touch closer? And
How's
then,
that?
oh, that's much better. A little more, even if you can, to the yeah. All right, right there. That way we can get the whole thing. Yeah, man, impressive work. That guy's super cool.
Thank you.
So he's the Primarch, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you and most of the viewers that know anything about 40K are going to have to forgive me because I'm a little underschooled in that area. Um, it's again, yeah, dude, that looks great. No, in my area, 40K is probably the most uh, popular game played at our local gaming stores. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
know that until the last, you know, 10 years or something like that. 40K wasn't really something on my radar or anything that I knew much about, even though, I mean, I
Mm-hmm.
knew it because I was in the miniatures painting world. But other than
Right.
that, I just knew the name. But I have a brother in law now who is a big 40K fan. And so I've learned a lot from just picking his brain and talking about it. And he shares his projects with me, and vice
Mm-hmm.
versa. I painted some of his oh Chaos Marines
Okay.
years ago. Some cool dudes, and now I've got a big bunch of Ultramarines I got to get to here in the very near future.
Okay. For yourself or somebody else?
Yeah, it's commission work. There's a
Oh,
guy.
okay.
He sends me a box that has like a year's worth of stuff to paint in it, and I
Oh, wow.
just whittle away at it over
Okay.
time. And so this is the third box that he's sent me, and there were a lot of cool Space Marines in there. I was gonna paint one tonight because I knew that you were painting Games Workshop, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have time to get them completely prepped. So
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
next time.
Okay.
But no, thank you for sharing that guy. He looks so cool.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Do you have any cool projects on the horizon?
Hmm. So I probably I really got to decide. So
Okay.
um I have pretty much the entire line of the Grand Army of Cathay for Warhammer the Old World.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've seen any of those, but those are some pretty cool models. And I think I've decided on a color scheme, and I think that's going to be my next like major project.
Okay. Are these the Japanese influenced fellows that you had told me about before?
Yeah, I think they might be a little bit more Chinese influence,
Okay.
but yeah,
Okay.
they're definitely like an Asian influence one. So there's like um a lot of pretty cool models
Okay.
in that kind of theme. So again, it's just a matter of players. So I've kind of been like taking my time with that because I also want to play play the game with them as well.
Right.
Um, and then secondly is like we have Age of Sigmar and 40K falling out of the sky over here. I'm pretty good friends with a lot of the regular Age of Sigmar folks, and there's like that big Cities of Sigmar release with that big walking fort. So that could be taking precedence over my cafe
Hmm.
project. So we'll see.
Okay. No, I mean that
Yeah.
sounds exciting on both ends.
Yeah.
So, whichever way you decide to go, you'll have to keep me posted.
Oh, definitely.
All right. So then, We talked about why you got into painting and the things that you're working on now. Looked at some of your cool stuff, but why? Why paint? What is it that drives you and keeps you coming back for more?
Um, I'd say I've got a, it's multi factors, multiple factors in that. Like I said earlier, I don't like to play unpainted armies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I just love going to the shop and, you know, deploying my army and having it look, at least cool to me, and,
Absolutely.
so that's one important thing. I think the second part is just like, it's just a really good, like, mental hobby, I think, to just I do so much physical stuff. To just have like something where I'm just kind of winding down, but I'm still focused
Mm.
is a big part of it too, I think.
Yeah, no, I think that makes great sense. Do you think that showing up with a really, really well painted army to a tabletop game is kind of the miniatures equivalent of like shouting or giving a kia when you attack in martial arts?
I don't know that I've never thought of it that way, to be honest with you, but um I don't know. I mean, I feel like it's
I just now had that thought too. So
for
my
me personally, I don't, I never, like I said, I've never really thought about that way, but it does feel good. I don't know, to have it. If you get complimented on it, it's even better.
sure. No, it my son, we started him in a karate class within the last few months. I guess he's been going for 4 to 6 months. I can't remember exactly when we started. So
Hmm.
it's the first really type of much of anything physical that he's done. He hasn't done any other sports or anything like that up to this point, and he's a big
Okay.
brainiac. That kid is incredibly smart and stuff like that. But we wanted to get him some physical training as well,
Right.
and so we decided to give the karate a try, and it's going really well. But there's a, he's learning his kata, and there's times when he's supposed to yell out with the strike
Hmm.
and things like
Right.
that, or whenever the instructor tells them to get into fighting stance, then they kya, right?
Right.
And
Hmm.
so whenever he's sparring, one of the things that I've been telling him, because sometimes the instructors will spar with him also,
Hmm.
and the one guy, he is super loud anytime that he kyas one of the instructors, and
Okay.
sometimes he'll like drag it out real long and intentional, mostly because he's a goofball, but also
Okay.
I'm telling him, I said, this is what I tell my son. I said, hey man, you need to start yelling whenever you strike your opponent. You will
Yeah.
freak them out and get in their head and throw them off. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, because of I was was telling him in that regard, and then I don't know why, but whenever you talked about showing up to play a game and throwing your awesome painted army on the table, for some reason in my mind I made a connection there of like striking terror into your opponent because you're obviously taking this seriously.
I don't take it that seriously though.
I know, but I
Excuse
don't
me.
know.
Yeah.
I'm just being silly, but
No, it's a good
it's an interesting
analogy. Good
thought.
question. Yeah. I definitely, like, I go to tournaments,
Okay.
um like local ones. Oh, whoops. Usually just to support my local store. They like to have RTTs and stuff like that. Um and then I like to go to I go typically go to Las Vegas Open. Usually have a lot of fun there. Um but I don't I am the epitome of a casual player.
I see.
Yeah, not really. I don't really take it that like serious to try to win
I see what you mean, but
all
it's
the
still,
time.
again,
I've had
it's
some good showings. Don't get me wrong, but most of the time it's not like, you know, me nickel, trying to nickel and dime somebody's measurements or
right.
telling people no take backs, or something. You know,
Of course, you got to have those people out there too.
yeah.
And I mean, if I were, I wouldn't want to be gypped any if I were
Oh yeah,
trying to
certainly.
win. But yeah, there's a point that you get to where it's like, all right, are we having fun? You know.
I usually tell people like at those types of events, like, hey, like I'm just here to have fun. Like if like if your intention was to do something, as long as we're not like too far ahead in the game, like it's okay. Just let me know.
Right.
We can go from there and just, give me the same,
Exactly.
like let's have a fun game. I
Right.
think, like I said, it's like, yeah, I'm a pretty big muscular guy, so a lot of war gamers are not. So I've
What are
definitely
you
been to
talking
events
about?
when people are just immediately intimidated, and I'm just like, just want to like, chill that right
Right.
away and just be like, look, man, I'm not gonna flip the table over,
Right.
if
No,
I
I think
lose. I'm
that's
not a
good.
Wookiee, I'm not gonna
I'm not a Wookiee.
pull your arms off.
Oh my goodness. That was a spectacular reference. All right. Well, have you got any closing? Oh, wait a minute. I skipped an important question.
Okay.
What would you say to someone that has considered getting into painting but hasn't pulled the trigger yet?
Oh, I would tell them, just don't hold back, um, just go after it, use your imagination. I know it's kind of hard to do that, but I mean, I've had this talk with people before, and you know obviously it's like, you can steer people to YouTube and pick up some of those basic techniques, so it's not so overwhelming.
Right.
And I definitely would encourage anybody to paint. um I think the second thing I would tell them is just make sure you thin your paints, because you don't want to be
That's
that guy
right.
with all the paint gooped on straight out of the pot, right? But that
Yeah,
happens
man.
sometimes. But
Yeah.
no, I definitely 100% would encourage anyone that wants to start painting to start painting. It's just a really good hobby, to be in. And if you're painting tabletop miniatures on top of that, it's a good pathway to be sociable, and meet people in person, and be part of a community as well.
That's right. No, absolutely. I agree. Well spoken. I would say that there is, like you're talking about, being able to, you're talking about being creative,
Hmm.
and just, I think there is a freeness, a freeing aspect to painting, to
Right.
making it your own, to testing out and seeing what works and what doesn't.
Yeah,
It's liberating. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for.
it is. And I also really enjoy like seeing people that I'm playing with and watch their armies like each week just
Mm-hmm.
just coming together, and just starting to look
Mm,
like really good. I enjoy that too. I
yeah.
really like to see other people's paint jobs as well.
Mm-hmm. It reminded me of a time uh, I was painting something for one of the first things I ever painted for. This would have been probably 8 years ago. And it wasn't a model that I particularly liked. Um, and so I wasn't even really very excited about painting it,
Hmm.
but it had to be done to paint the whole game. So
Hmm.
I was doing it and kind of not enjoying the process, but then whenever it's, the layers kept adding and building up and it came alive as I went along, I was
Right,
like,
right.
man, this thing, I kind of, this is pretty cool actually. And it just
Yeah.
totally changed my mind about it, which looking back on, I think is silly, but I'm also glad
No,
it was
I totally
eye-opening.
understand what you mean. You know, I think we've all kind of like had that kind of experience, you know, where it's like, I don't know how this is going. And then you just get to a certain point in the model and it's just like, okay, this is really turning out to be what I wanted it to be.
Right. All right. Well then, with that being said, great words of wisdom and advice, sir.
Thank
Um,
you.
do you have any closing remarks before we wrap things up here?
Well, I've had a lot of fun. I really appreciate you inviting me onto this. Like I said, I don't have like a big social media presence. I haven't really posted a lot about the hobby, believe it or not. I'm terrible at like taking pictures and doing stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
this has been a real pleasure. And I definitely would do it again
Okay.
anytime. But like I said, I've had a lot of fun, and I appreciate you having me on. And I encourage people to check out um, your channel and your social media pages. You do a lot of really good work. I'm a big fan.
Well, I appreciate it so much, and I'm glad you've had a good time. But I guarantee the pleasure is all mine.
Thank you.
So, real quick, as we wrap up here, um,
Hmm.
let's show off the progress that we made on our models. Since you're still working on yours, I'll show mine off
Okay.
first. And I mean, I'm obviously not done yet, but I was able to
Right.
basically block out and get all of my bass tones done, which
Oh
I
yeah.
think is a similar boat to the first episode when I was painting a different one of these guys.
Hmm.
So that is my spider mutant ranged man. So I'm still trying to come up with a theme for these guys, kind of like a
Okay.
backstory. And
Hmm.
so more to come on that. Hopefully, I can take some time and turn that into something really good. But
Okay.
okay, go ahead. How about you?
Yeah, I think I did about the same. My technique with especially with Warriors of Chaos is I hit the metallics first, and then I go back in and just clean up that black armor.
Here, I
Um,
can't see him
so
quite
I think I
well.
did that. Oh, sorry. How was that? Tell me.
You're a little close.
Okay.
There,
Sorry.
that's perfect.
Okay. So that's basically what I did. You know, I hit that kind of that orangey gold, which
Mm-hmm.
I like for my chaos guys, and
Yeah.
some gunmetal, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just went back in and cleaned up those, cleaned up around the metals. I think it's
Yeah.
about as far as I got. Yeah.
No, I think it looks great. And like you said, it's the orangey gold. It complements the black really well, of course.
Hmm.
Yeah, that looks nice. I
Thanks.
like it on the tips of the horns as well for the your captain.
Yeah.
His helm, I should say.
Right.
Oh, and that shield's gonna
Yeah.
look great too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much once again, Chris, for joining me
Hmm.
today. It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you again.
And thank you so much to you, audience, for tuning in. And until next time, be blessed and happy painting. Okay, guys, here's a final look at the figures that Chris and I were painting. Here's his Chaos Knight champion. And here's a look at my guy Afar. Thanks again so very much for tuning in and watching this episode. Please let us know